Welcome everybody to a look at a new Arrow Video 4K limited edition release, and it is 1996's The Long Kiss Goodnight. So this is directed by Rennie Harlin, who also did Die Hard 2 and Cliffhanger, two other 90s classic action films. Also did Cutthroat Island, which I really rather quite enjoy. I know it wasn't well received at the time, being such a massive bomb that it actually sunk the studio that funded it, and didn't have the best critical reception either, but I really rather enjoy it. And also, but he also got his start in terms of mainstream Hollywood films with A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, which is certainly one of the better sequels in that series. And yeah, this is an action thriller clocking in at 120 minutes long. Had a budget of $65 million, and you can really tell there's only really a few minor special effects shots that are a bit dodgy. The rest of the film really does look as expensive as it is, but unfortunately only had a box office return of $95.5 million. So yeah, probably not quite enough of a success to legitimately consider maybe a sequel or anything like that. But at least it made some money, unlike Cutthroat Island, which came out the year before from the same director. And yeah, this stars Gina Davis, who was also in Cutthroat Island, as well as Thelma and Louise, The Fly, Beetlejuice, and more recently Blink Twice. And also stars Samuel L. Jackson, who I've seen in at least 57 other films. Favourites being the likes of Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction, Unbreakable, Kong Skull Island, and Die Hard with a Vengeance. And in minor roles, you've got the likes of Brian Cox and David Morse as well. So, an amnesiac school teacher sets out to recover her identity with the help of a private detective when they discover a dark conspiracy. So, this is a well scripted and action packed effort, which is thanks to Shane Black providing an overall excellent script. He's obviously most well known for writing the script for the first Lethal Weapon film. And yeah, also Rennie Harlin is a really rather great director of, generally of action scenes, so which helps makes this for a highly entertaining effort. The two of these are also brilliant, especially when on screen together, as their interplay is really rather well executed and entertaining. The supporting cast is good. The action scenes are huge fun, while it features one of the best explosion scenes from the 90s, which is handily depicted on the new artwork here, which has been done. Uh, Sam Hadley. Yeah, really nice new artwork. That's Gina Davis's character there, and yeah, that's the explosion that I was just talking about. And yeah, there was also plenty of laughs, effective characterization, some emotional weight. It is generally engrossing throughout. The score is well done, and most of the production holds up. Like I said, there are a few dodgy special effects scenes, but they're only minor. They're only like one or two shots, and yeah, that's about it. The rest of the production is really rather good, especially its use of miniatures. It was also nice to revisit this film, not just as the 4K release in general, but also just to revisit it as a film in general, as that has a plot that features setups and payoffs, which is seemingly something big budget films nowadays have seemingly forgotten about. Which is yeah, I know it's probably a little bit sad to say that a near 30-year-old film, which isn't obviously a drastically old film, is doing things that really aren't not all that well done nowadays. But yeah, really like this new artwork. Like I said, it's a really good one. And then we've got the original artwork on the sleeve. You can get the new artwork on the sleeve as well, but I've reversed it because I like to have both artworks on the slipcover and on the sleeve. Inside, you've got your discs, which are printed using aspects that are inspiration from the film. Don't apologise, just dropped something on the floor from the disc, from the case. So yeah, if you know the film, you know what the writing on the back relates to, as well as what Amnesia Chip relates to as well on the Blu-ray disc there, which has all of the bonus features on it. And then we've got the main feature on the 4K disc with a few extras on there as well. But the majority of the extras are on the second disc there, which is Blu-ray only. And then we've got a few little mementos in here as well. We've got a sticker there, which if you've seen the film, you know exactly what that relates to. And then we've also got a postcard with Samuel L. Jackson looking as dapper as ever. And mild language warning here for what's written on the back, because obviously in the 90s he was well known for saying that word, especially after the likes of Pulp Fiction. And yeah, we also get a booklet with this as well, again with new artwork on there. and then a shot from the film with our two leads. And inside we get your cast and crew credits, and then we get the school teacher, the spy, and the private eye on The Long Kiss Goodnight by Priscilla Page. And then we get It's a Man's World by Richard Kadri. Then we got Remembering Her Power, The Long Kiss Goodnight, Amnesia and Reconciliation by Maura McHugh. And then finally we got Having It All, The Long Kiss Goodnight and Building the Perfect Action Heroine by Clem Bastow. And then about the presentation and production credits as well. So yeah, I think like Gina Davis, as far as Western films go, was really rather quite ahead of her time in terms of being an action heroine. Nowadays, obviously, we do have action heroines in a plenty. You know, you got Charlize Theron, who was in Mad Max Fury Road, and she was in that Netflix film. I can't remember what the name of it was, but yeah, she's been in stuff as well. Also, like Atomic Blonde. But then you've also got Halle Berry, who was in Die Another Day, and then she was also in one of the John Wick films. So there are action heroines nowadays, but back in the 90s, in terms of Western films, really was a rarity. And I think Gina Davis, with the likes of this and Cutthroat Island, really was quite ahead of her time. Now, obviously, Hong Kong films had long since had female leading roles in action films with the guns with girls kind of genre. We've talked about many a time, from Eureka, for instance, with like some Michelle Yeoh and Cynthia Rothrock. But as far as mainstream Western films go, yeah, women in leading roles in action films were just not really all that commonplace, which is a great shame, because when they're as good as this, just shows, just really does hint at what we've kind of lost out on, quite frankly, as far as films go. So yeah, on the disc, it's on the first disc, it's a 4K disc. We've got a brand new 4K restoration by Arrow Films from the original 35mm negative, approved by director Rennie Harlin. So that means we've got a 4K 2160p Ultra HD Blu-ray in Dolby Vision HDR10 compatible, and we've got 3 audio options on this disc as well. We've got a DTS HD MA 5.1, Stereo 2.0, and new Dolby Atmos audio options. I went for the 5.1 just because it suits my sound system better, but obviously I don't really quite have the time to watch a 2-hour film 3 times in a row just to see what the sound is like. But yeah, I imagine the Stereo 2.0 and the Dolby Atmos are decent. Then we've got optional English subtitles for deaf and hard of hearing. And then on the 4K disc, we've got brand new audio commentary by film critic Walter Chaw, brand new audio commentary by film critics Drusilla Adelaine and Joshua Conkle, who are co-hosts of the Bloodhouse podcast. And then we got theatrical trailer and image gallery. And then on the second disc, which is Blu-ray only, we've got Symphony of Destruction, a new interview with stunt coordinator Steve Davidson, Long Live the New Flesh, a new interview with makeup artist Gordon J. Smith, Girl Interrupted, a new interview with actress Yvonne Zimmer. Then we've got Amnesia Chick, a new visual essay by film scholar Joss Nelson, Then Mirror Cracked, and a new visual essay by critic and filmmaker Howard S. Berger. Then we've got A Woman's World, a new visual essay by film scholar Alexandra Helen Nicholas, as well as deleted scenes, archival promotional interviews with the director Rennie Harlin and stars Gina Davis, Samuel L. Jackson, and Craig Berko. Making of Futurette, an archival promotional Futurette. Then we've got behind the scenes, archive EPK footage from the filming of The Long Kiss Goodnight. We'll say this though, as far as this release goes, there is a slight grammar mistake. Where is it? So where it says archival interviews with director Rennie Harlin, it says with. Not sure if you can quite pick that up on my or not, but yeah, a little bit of a mistake there. But yeah, the rest of this release is fantastic, especially when it comes to the 4K and not just the image quality, but also the sound, because that 5.1 surround sound just really just nails those action scenes. Because yeah, the action scenes of this thing glorious, not just in terms of explosions or anything like that, but also in terms of the gunshots and the general property damage that occurs in fight scenes, which I'm always a fan of. Property damage when fight scenes that don't incur any kind of damage whatsoever when in their surroundings just feels a bit, you know, unrealistic, to be honest. So yeah, and this nails it in all of those regards. And yeah, it's just really funny as well, especially with the interplay between the two leads. But even Brian Cox, who I don't think is probably particularly well known for being all that comedic, is hilarious in this as well. It's just a shame that his role is quite small in the film in general, but yeah, he's hilarious as well as Jackson and Davis as well. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5 from me. Quite frankly, I absolutely adore this film. I've gradually become more and more enjoy it more and more. I originally saw it back in 2017 and I reasonably liked it, and then I watched it again early last year, and I enjoyed it even more. And this time around, I've enjoyed it more than ever. So yeah, highly recommend getting this if you haven't already, especially if you are a fan of 90s action films, which I am. I adore the genre action, and in the 90s, I feel like we got some of our best, if not the best, kind of films from that period. Because even though the 80s is quite well regarded as being the era of the action film, which it is in a lot of ways, I just think it's more of a case of quantity rather than quality in terms of that genre in that decade. Because to be honest, there's only really maybe two, three, four classics from that era that I can think of off the top of my head. With only really Die Hard being the actual apex of that genre from that decade, whereas you got the likes of this, Face Off, Speed, um, The Matrix. In some ways, you can just call that an action film, although obviously it does have sci-fi elements as well to it. So yeah, I feel like the 90s is really rather quite underrated for action films. Yes, they have their duds, but so did the 80s, and I feel like the 80s had quite a few of those in its own right as well. So, yeah, highly recommend this. It's my favourite film from Rennie Harlin, favourite film from, well, I'd like to say from Gina Davis, but in all honesty, Thelma and Louise is also really rather quite up there. But to be honest, it's probably my second favourite from her. So, yeah, but if you haven't seen this film, then I do highly recommend getting it. But if you have, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it as well. I know it's not had the best critical reception, either from the time or even in terms of modern audiences. Letterboxd rating, I think, is only 3.2. So yeah, it's not had the best audience reception, but I personally feel like it's really highly underrated. I'm really glad that our video have done this release, especially since it's not a film they've released in the past. It's not another you know limited edition release that just so happens to be a 4K that we've seen before. This is a first time release from them, and yeah, here's hoping that they release more like this, quite frankly. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.